Alright, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, glory, honor due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rahava Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule and well, who taught me this truth to the Spirit, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, and honors to you, brothers, pushing this word and sincerity and truth throughout the four countries of the earth that we were scattered. Okay? Us being scattered are consisting of the 12 tribes of Israel, which make up of the Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, as well as the Israelite foreigners that's been scattered throughout the four winds. I'm the brothers of Harkabar, Lord willing, Apawatazah. The lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect out there, men, women, and children. Okay, so something that was just on my mind, I took it down, and then put it in my notes. It says, obedience is better than sacrifice, and sacrifice is better than a burnt offering to the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Because ultimately, before Yahushua, blood was spilled, and he was that ultimate sacrifice. Back in the ancient world, we was making sacrificial burnt offerings to the Lord because we sinned, or we was offering up the burnt offerings for other other atonements of family members, or other fellow Israelites who obviously sinned, because we all sinned, right? Came, as it is written, we all came short. We all came short, fell short of the glory of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. As is written, our righteousness is as filthy rags, which is today compared as to a tampon. So again, it says obedience is better than sacrifice, right? And when you go into it, obedience, it's better to obey the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. His word was consistent of these scriptures to be sacrificed, or rather than you yourself being, when you're going into today, you yourself being sacrificed. Okay? And a sacrifice, which is, when we come into this knowledge and understanding of the truth, as sacrifice of putting up the old man, the things that we used to do in the world, is again better than a burnt offering, which that would be, again, that could be you, or different, diverse situations that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua could put you in. Alright, so let's get from there. Let's go straight to the scriptures. Let's go into Hebrews chapter 5. Let's start with verse 1. No, I don't want to start with verse 1. I'll start with verse 2. No, I'll start with verse 1. Hebrews 5:1. For every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to the Most High, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins, who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way, for that he himself also is compassed with infirmity. And by reason hereof he ought, as for the people, so also for himself, to offer for sins. Right? And it says, and no man taketh this honor unto himself, but he that is called of the Most High. as was Aaron. So also Hamashiach glorified not himself to be made an high priest, but he that said unto him, Thou art my son, which is who? Yahweh. Today have I begotten thee. As he said also in another place, okay, speaking about Yahweh Shah, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, right? Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard in that he feared. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. Right, and that's going into basically, in today's time, you can be that burnt offering or that sacrifice. As I was going into, obedience, okay, is ultimately better than a sacrifice, okay? And you sacrificing yourself, for the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, going out on the highways and the byways, doing your videos, ultimately because, we're risking our freedom to talk against and put the truth out there of the scriptures, and against what, the the coming new world order, so to speak. Not so to speak, but it is what it is. The whole agenda of Esau. And it's better to sacrifice yourself for the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, than to be a burnt offering. Okay? Going back. It says, though he were a son, verse 8, Hebrews 5 and 8, though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by things which he suffered. And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. That's speaking of Yahweh or Yahweh Shah, called of the Most High, and high priest after the order of Melchizedek, of whom we have many things to say, and hard to be uttered, seeing ye are dull of hearing. Okay, verse 12 says, For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat. For everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. Right? So let's go from there, and let's see. If I'm not mistaken, it's in 1 Samuel is where the actual verse is at, but I can't seem to find it. If not, I'll just close out with that because I hit the point. Let me see. Let me check. 1 Samuel. Start with 7. So I couldn't quite find it, so I'll just get into Hosea chapter 6, and we can start with verse 5. It says, therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. Okay, and myself don't know what the word hewed means, so let's get a better understanding right fast. Alright, hew, to chop, hack, gash, strike, okay, with a cutting weapon or tool. Past tense. Let's see. To cut, to strike, to hew, to strike. Okay, to strike, hammer, right? Strike a beat. Okay. Alright, so Hosea 6 and 5. Therefore I have hewed them down by the prophets, right? I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth. For I desired mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of the Most High more than burnt offerings, right? Obedience is better than a sacrifice, and sacrifice is better than a burnt offering. But they, like men, have transgressed the covenant, which is the agreement, the Lord's statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father. There have they dealt treacherously against me. Alright. And this again is concerning the nation of Israel. When you read up, it was, when you read up verse 4, it says, O Ephraim was the head tribe of the northern kingdom, and Judah the head tribe of the southern. Okay, so again, going back to the point, obedience is better than sacrifice, and a sacrifice is better than a burnt offering to the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. With that, I want to give all praises, glory due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rahab Kakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Until next time, Shalom.